We're rolling with this whole thing live from the studio. So here today, I am really thrilled to be able to introduce two women that I've gotten to know over the last few months. One of the projects that we were working on as part of the Twin Cities Women's Expo was an actual art installation. I don't think that any expo's ever done this before in a 2-day deal, but I got introduced to the women who put together this project called the Women in Money Project that was at the Catherine E. Nash Gallery at the University of Minnesota a couple of years ago. And they really worked hard to bring an incredible event to you with art on this subject, Women in Money. And I have its curators here with us today to talk about this project and what they're working on now. We've got a few minutes set, so I'd like to first introduce Ellen Schillace, the Vice President of the International Association of Female Artists, and she's also the past president of the Minneapolis chapter of the Women's Caucus for the Art. She was the founder of Wave Gallery in Lowertown during the early 80s, back when it was very chic to be down there, and served on the Warren board. She is a practicing artist since she was a child. Hello, Ellen. How are you? She up? No, we don't have Ellen. We have Meng though, right?
Yeah.
Hey, hi. I'll introduce you next then. Also with us is Meng Tang, a digital artist with degrees in cinematography and photography. You were born in China, and that's a hot spot right now, right? And also is the vice president of the International Association of Female Artists. She's also an adjunct professor at the University of Minnesota and a member of the Central Arts and Culture Committee of the China Association for Promoting Democracy in China. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, we're pleased to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Women in Money project and how you guys worked on that?
The Women in the Money project is really Ellen's effort. She and I have been talking about this for years, about the equal pay and the women's rights, all those kind of things.
Right.
It's really her effort to put everything together. Right. I just as a support role to help her make this happen.
Well, and that's okay. Maybe she'll jump back on with us. I think she was on a little bit. Maybe she's having some technical difficulties. Why don't you talk about your work right now and the international, with the International Association of Female Artists?
My work, I want to mention my work is called Bible. Bible is the video installation I made in 2010. But I plan to show this work at this moment because the work is talk about the communication. So this installation, actually, when you walk into a small room, there are like a group of people actually projecting on the wall, the projections. They talk to you in same context, but different languages. So the video installation is really a reflection of my personal cross-cultural experience and examination of the feasibility and the possibility of communication, especially cross-cultural communication. So can we truly know another's experience, exceptionally with different languages, gender, race, and class differences? The final answer actually is probably no. However, does that means we are all different and we cannot efficiently communicate? Again, the answer is no. So at this moment, I think it's really the good time for me as an artist to bring this awareness to the whole human being. Right now, we are facing the global pandemic. Right. So we should stop blaming each other and we should work together and try to deal this crisis. I think that's the reason why I want to bring this piece to this Women Expo. I hope in future you can have opportunities to see it. Actually, It's on my website. So if you can have time to log on, you can actually see this piece.
Excellent. We'll make sure that we share that too. Can you tell us a little bit about what you had planned at the expo? I know we were going to turn one of the fitting rooms at Herberger's into this video space. What would people have experienced had they gone?
I think you mean my work in this expo?
Go ahead, Meng. I'm sorry. We're just going to see if Ellen is on. Yeah. So anyway, we at the expo, you were going to install your video piece of Babel. So what would people have gone and experienced if they'd been in there?
The show was canceled, so that's reason.
No, I know. What would they have experienced?
Oh, they're supposed to walk into the room, and the people who come from different cultures, speak different languages, and they try to talk to them, to the audiences, and the audience try to figure out what they talk about, but couldn't understand the languages because all the languages, the voices merged together. So as an audience, you couldn't hear what it is. It's really kind of like reference the current situation we are having now.
Right. So just kind of finish up a few. We do hope, I mean, the plan is for the Women's Expo to be rescheduled at Rosedale Center at a later date, and we hope to be able to bring this installation to you. It'll probably look different than we had planned because of the space. What message would you like? I know originally we were talking about what you wanted to think. You're from China, where the pandemic started. How are you feeling? Do you have family still there in China? And how are you feeling now?
I think when this just happened in China, and I had been very worried about my parents and my relatives and my friends there, and I got so angry about the Chinese government. I feel like they didn't do the job and to kind of control this spreading things. But after the virus came to the West, I still feel the same feeling. I don't really worried about myself. I feel sorry for those people who are suffering this COVID-19, particularly in New York, in Madrid, and in Italy. I feel so sorry for those people. I feel like as a human being and all the from different cultures, we should act quickly and work together and try to deal this crisis and help the people as more as we can. Yeah. So I feel a little bit frustrated about what the current government, the Trump administration, I feel they act so slow.
Yeah. So Ellen's on. Ellen, hi, how are you?
Sorry. My husband's computer, mine just completely went.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go live. The whole thing sometimes things just don't work. We only have a couple of minutes, Ellen, but I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about what people were going to experience at the Women in Money project at our event and what that was. So if you can kind of give us an idea of what people would have saw if they were there.
So what the artists were trying to do was to traverse these misperceptions and perceptions about women's relationship with money, because money rules our politics as we're experiencing now, and global economic systems, and impacts our private lives and dictates societal norms. And the artists wanted to shed light on the power of women who tend to the fields and support their families and are actually providing the glue for society. They pollinate the society. So these questions were shown through many pieces of art. The artists provided a lens of a version on the topic of money, which artists kind of give that other view of what very often people don't want to talk about. And for example, I think we had a piece about money of war, which Meng did, which showed the expenses of war and the money that's put into war. And then we had a piece that I had called the Wall Street Wall, which was basically a 12-foot wall that existed in the 1600s, and it was actually to keep people out. And now that Wall Street Wall, or that Wall Street, is an actual street, and it's the financial district which controls the global markets, etc., worldwide, and shows the power of money and how its politics and influence. And so that is kind of what we were trying to create, is a view from the artists about both personally and globally what money does to control the world.
In the original project, how many artists did you have?
So we had 29 artists, and some of those artists were from California, Israel, New York, Kansas, and they pulled together. And we even had a piece about we had a piece about Trump too, and we had a piece about the fact that women are frugal, and we had a piece about the fact that that showed actually what women made state by state, whether they were Black or Native American or white, or what percentage of the dollar. And I think in one state like New Jersey, I think Native American women, for example, made 41 cents on the dollar that a man makes. So she had a quilted with money, showing state by state what portion of the dollar women actually had. So anyway.
Yep. Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. Tell us how that we can support you. You guys are both vice presidents of the International Association of Female Artists, and this is, a lot of the visual arts are a completely different kind of form. So tell us very briefly about the IAFA and how people can support your organization.
The IAFA, actually, the whole name is called the International Association of Female Artists. This association is the world's only international organization for women intellectuals. Its membership include video artists, filmmakers, photographers, actresses, performance artists, folk artists, musicians, and creative writers. So the mission of this organization actually is to establish a platform and created a community for helping women artists, including transgender women artists worldwide. So that is our goal, to unite the intellectual women, not only artists, is kind of like really a big definition of artists, right, together to increase their voices and to kind of help the world. So that's our goal.
And what's the website where people can reach you?
It's called IAFartist.org.
Awesome.
So if people want to help us, you're welcome to join us. The more members, we can make our voice to louder. And the more members, the better. Great. And second, if you want to help us, you can just log on to our website. We have the website. You can support us by giving us some funding.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for coming. We hope to have you back at the rescheduled event, and I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Great.